We're doing it live. Pull back and all. The Fantasy Football Show does not stop. I don't take a break. I don't leave. This is 365, 24/7. Might even go on vacation next week, but I'm still going to go live. I don't know if I go live every single day. We'll see. We'll do it live. We'll figure it out. But we've got a lot of news to talk about today. And we're going to break it down in 1 second. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Let me pull this over on screen. Fields. The Bears are talking madness. The Bears are talking, I don't know if this is posturing or what. You know, it probably is a posture type position that we're going to maybe take a quarterback at the 1 pick. Would the Bears be absolutely crazy to take a quarterback with the 1 overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft? They've got Justin Fields looking like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL with no help at all. It would be ridiculous to take a quarterback, but they're maybe doing that whole who wants the number 1 overall pick. We will maybe take a quarterback if you want to trade up and come get it. Posture. Like I'm posturing right now because I have a pull back. That's what the Bears are doing. DeAndre Hopkins could get traded out of Arizona. We're breaking it all down right now. First in the building was Peanut Butter and Waivers. Your boy Rick, Blake, Noah, and Caesar. Appreciate you all being here. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is up, everybody? I am Smitty. This is the Fantasy Football Show. I appreciate you being here on a, what is it, Tuesday? I don't even know what day it is. Half the time. We've got a lot to go over. We're going to take phone calls. We're going to talk 2023. We're going to talk a little bit of the playoff fantasy football. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL playoffs in general. We'll be doing everything like we normally do. So file on into the building, and we will start taking phone calls really, really soon. Actually, let's open the phone lines. Actually, let's do the news. We'll do the news.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So first piece of news was, as I just described, we've got the Chicago Bears talking madness right now. Chicago Bears talking absolute madness right here. Bears general manager Ryan Poles, who is an aggressive guy. That's the only reason I think this should be taken a little bit seriously, is he's an aggressive guy, but he will not rule out taking a quarterback with the 1st overall pick. There was some clarification that he'd have to be blown away by the prospect in order to do so. What would they do? What would they do if they took a quarterback? Does anybody buy this? I don't know that I truly buy it. I think it's all posture, like your boy Smitty trying to posture in his chair because his back is hurt, and I pulled my back. I got pillows back here. I could barely sit, but thank God I could sit for a little bit because I was like, how am I going to work? How am I going to work if I can't sit? The back got a little bit better. I'd say it was to the point where I was unable to sit or barely walk. And if I walked, it took me about 15 minutes to get to the bathroom and come back. And I was screaming and yelling like an old lady as I would walk and go, just like someone hooked electrical, some kind of electric cables to my spine, hooked it up to a car battery. And as I would make the wrong twitch or move, somebody just shock me, and you'd see me walking through the hallway, and I go, like an old lady. Your boy Smitty went from that, which we'll call that 100% awful, to about 80% over one night. So that's good, because now I can sit in it. I could throw it out again at any moment. Like it's vulnerable, but I'm able to sit at least and work, so which is good. Back to the posturing here by General Manager Ryan Poles. This would be crazy if the Bears drafted a quarterback. First of all, would they then run Fields as some kind of like slash type, option and pull the quarterback out, or run both of them on the field at the same time, pull Fields out, run Fields as a running back, like a Deebo Samuel, but on the quarterback end, a quarterback / running back instead of a running back / wide receiver, or wide receiver / running back. It's possible, but I don't think it's likely. I think it's Poles being very, very, inviting to come get the number 1 overall pick. I highly doubt the Bears even keep it. They've got so many problems and so many holes, and Ryan Poles is I don't want to say he's good yet. I don't want to say he's good. When I say he's aggressive, he's trying to solve problems. He'll move people around. He'll release people. He'll trade people. He's trying to shake things up for sure. And that's good in a way, right? It's good, but you don't really know if it's going to be effective. So I'm not saying that Ryan Poles is necessarily good yet, good or bad. I think it's to be determined what he's doing. But it makes me wonder if he potentially is capable. I know we all want to use logic and say, oh, no way, he's totally posturing. There's no way he's going to actually draft a quarterback if he's got Fields. It's easy to say that with logic. It's easy for me and you to sit here and go, you wouldn't do that. That'd be ridiculous. You need to get this guy some wide receivers. You need to draft a wide receiver. You know, maybe if you do trade down, you trade down in the top 10, you draft a wide receiver. You trade down from the 1 to get that, oh, we're not taking a quarterback value. Who wants a quarterback? Come and get some. And then they trade up to the 1 pick. The Bears trade down to like 7. You take a wide receiver, and maybe you get a little kickback somewhere else, move a second back into the bottom of the first, take another, I don't know, defensive player, whatever. You could build that way. I think that's ultimately what is going to happen. I think there's probably, based on the way Ryan Poles has operated so far with this team, trading, releasing, moving players around, shaking things up, there's a 80% chance in my mind that he trades down. I think the Bears fans are so excited right now. They got the number 1 overall pick that they haven't had in, how long has it been, ever? And now all of a sudden they're going to lose it. Because there's just, Ryan Poles is going to trade this pick. I feel like he's going to. Or he does take a quarterback. I pulled my back. I want to make sure I put this on screen so people are wondering what's going on behind me with the pillows. Smitty pulled his back. Smitty pulled his back. Okay. I put that right there just so you guys know what's up. And then we got the DeAndre Hopkins situation, and I like this. I like Mealy's comment here because it kind of goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. Maybe the Cardinals trade DeAndre Hopkins to the Bears. Maybe Justin Fields is throwing footballs to DeAndre Hopkins. Now I don't like this news because I'm a Cardinal fan. This is the next piece of news. We'll go back to the Bears situation in a second though, because we got Montgomery news to talk about. But DeAndre Hopkins. This report here, the Scores, Jordan Schultz reports that the Cardinals plan to trade DeAndre Hopkins this offseason. I hate this news. I hate this news because my Cardinals are trying to build around a guy named Kyler Murray, Juicebox Kyler, that complains and cries, and he's not tall enough to see over the offensive line, so he's developed a skill, which he's very good at, and he's very good at making it look like, oh, it's just part of the play. It broke up, or this is the play design. He scrambles outside the pocket so he can see. And he's developed into one of the better, when he's on fire, when his receivers are healthy and all that, one of the better scrambling, passing quarterbacks in the NFL. Throwing the football outside of the pocket. Kyler Murray can be, when everything is perfect, and it's not always perfect in Arizona. We've got injuries, we got suspensions, we've never had our wide receivers on the field for very long together. But when Hopkins is on the field and healthy, Kyler Murray is very good throwing the football to DeAndre Hopkins. And DeAndre Hopkins is one of the best wide receivers he's the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL for catching footballs from a scrambling quarterback outside the pocket. Why is that? Why is that? Ow. Ow. Oh, I moved wrong there. Why is that? Because Deshaun Watson scrambled outside the pocket. Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins were the best dynamic duo of quarterback outside pocket, wide receiver catching football from said quarterback outside of pocket. Hopkins got groomed catching the football from a quarterback scrambling outside the pocket. So he's a match made in heaven for a guy like Kyler Murray that needs to throw to a wide receiver that knows what he's doing when the quarterback's scrambling. So to trade away a wide receiver that grossly benefits in an extreme degree Kyler Murray's skill set, which isn't really there in some ways as a well all-around passer, and it's a mask of sorts to make him look like he can be successful outside the pocket. So what good is it really to know he's throwing outside the pocket? Hopkins is so good outside the pocket, or catching footballs from his quarterback while his quarterback's outside the pocket. This is the match made in heaven. They're about to take it away. They're about to send Hopkins packing. I don't know if this is true. This could be a rumor, but this isn't good news if the Cardinals are going to trade DeAndre Hopkins. Not for Kyler Murray's development, and Kyler Murray, who is going through an ACL recovery, is going to need all the help he can get in familiar faces and continuity, if you will. So this is bad news for the Cardinals. However, part of me wonders if the Cardinals are going to draft Bijan Robinson. The Cardinals are drafting at number 4? Let me see. I'll pull up the 2023 NFL draft order, baby. NFL.com. Let's do it live. Pick 1. Cardinals are 3. Cardinals are 3 now. That's right. Cardinals are number 3. Cardinals draft at number 3. Now we need offensive line. Okay, we need an edge rusher. We need a cornerback. We need several things. But the Cardinals could draft Bijan Robinson at number 3, or move down a couple spots and draft Bijan Robinson at number 6 or 7. Running backs usually do not go in the top 15 anymore. But Bijan Robinson is a special breed, a special type of running back, a different running back, a LaDainian Tomlinson type running back. LaDainian Tomlinson meets Kenneth Walker, meets a couple other different versions of players in the NFL currently or not currently. This is a monster running back prospect that could be a double-digit touchdown machine in the Cardinals offense, which produced a guy named James Conner for 2 years now, 2 straight years, atop the league in rushing touchdowns. This guy's one of the league leaders in rushing touchdowns in the last 2 years in this Arizona Cardinal rushing attack. So Bijan is a pretty good landing spot in Arizona. At the number 3 pick, the Cardinals could take him. And then you think to yourself, well, God, why don't you keep Hopkins? Why don't you keep Hopkins? Maybe they're going to trade Hopkins for a pick and try to beef up the offensive line to help Bijan. If Hollywood is... Hollywood and Kyler played together in college. There's good rapport there. Dortch, you got some good options. You got Rondell Moore. Losing Hopkins at an older age wouldn't be the end of the world if we could improve the offensive line, and if we, the Cardinals, I say we, I rarely get attached to a team. I'm usually very unbiased, so I apologize. But in this context, I'm just, my back's injured. Okay, I'm not thinking straight. But I'm saying we here because this is my Cardinals. I'm in Arizona. But the Cardinals, if they decide to go ground and pound with their build and they draft Bijan, they trade Hopkins, they get another pick, or they do something, they beef up the offensive line slightly, they look at corners in free agency and maybe an edge rusher or whatever, the Cardinals could transform under a new coaching staff that's going to come in because Cliff Kingsbury's gone. A new coaching staff that's going to come in and maybe gear this offense a little different. Instead of making Kyler try and be a quarterback like either Justin Fields or like Joe Burrow, because he's not going to be a gunslinger like Joe Burrow. And for whatever reason, Cliff Kingsbury, with his air raid attack, wanted Kyler to be a top quarterback gunslinger, and he's not. He's not that kind of quarterback. So maybe we need a little Justin Fields type of quarterback, but with a really good ground and pound game. Now, I'm not saying Kyler could stay healthy, especially coming off a torn ACL. I'm not wanting him to run like Fields. I'm saying in general, to want to have your quarterback Kyler, who can't throw outside the pocket, or can only throw outside the pocket, cannot throw well inside the pocket, to be tossing this rock like he's a top 5 quarterback gunslinger is ridiculous. We need to build around the run. The Cardinals need to build around the run. Bijan Robinson would be a fantastic pick. I hope he lands with the Cardinals at number 3. Back to Chicago Bears. GM Ryan Poles told reporters he wants to keep impending free agent running back David Montgomery. Now, this goes against, but what about running back Justin Fields? What? I thought you're drafting a quarterback, Ryan. You're drafting a quarterback. You're going to use Fields as your running back. That's good news because I think Monty in the system, he's obviously good in the system, but it depends on where David Montgomery could go. I feel like David Montgomery hasn't had as big of a last couple years as he probably should have. But had he had a monster like season, like in a way that was revolutionary, actually he did pretty well the year prior. Then he'd have a shot at landing a starting job somewhere uncontested. But I don't know that he would probably be signed pretty quickly if let's say he hit the free agent market. He's an impending free agent, but if he hit the free agent market, I could see him drawing a lot of interest. But I think he's probably pretty good where he's at because I think he's got the job locked in. So why move? But we'll see. Third-year breakout Herbert. Sam, if Monty does go, Khalil Herbert to the moon.
To the moon.
For sure. And hopefully he does. I'm saying from Monty's sake, he probably is better off staying where he's done well and developed. But if he leaves, Herbert to the moon, Khalil Herbert. We all love Khalil Herbert. He was a moon man for a reason. Our moon man list, by the way, has 3 guys on it.
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
Yep.
Space monsters.
Indeed, they are space monsters. And Herbert was on that list last year for a reason. We love Khalil Herbert. Two pieces of Bear news, but this is big because there's a lot of offense there in Chicago. But Justin Fields, again, to wrap up the news segment, to get into the phone call segment, I will say this. Justin Fields, I highly doubt they draft a quarterback. If they do, it will be the biggest question mark coming out of the NFL draft, in terms of what did this team do? What did this team just do? They're not drafting a quarterback. I wouldn't put it past Poles, but if they drafted a quarterback, it would be a debacle of a pick. You have so many other holes. There's no way this happens. So that's the last I'll say on the news section. We have one more. We have a super chat here. I feel like they could get more overall if they got Stroud or Bryce Young, maybe, and then trade Fields for a high first and a third or something like that. That's a lot of moving parts, though, Kyle. Like I do think Bryce Young is a good quarterback, and I think that they would be tempted, right? But Fields has proven pretty much all year long that he can be the guy. He needs weapons, though. We'll see. That's why I said it's possible that Poles could draft a quarterback. You don't know. Keep in mind that Josh Rosen was... What was Rosen? Wasn't Rosen a top 10 pick? He was a top... Was he number 3, number 5? I forget what pick Rosen was. Cardinals drafted Rosen in the top 10. The next year, the Cardinals drafted Kyler Murray. And it was a new coaching staff, granted. But Poles is still new to this job. So could Poles draft a quarterback? It's possible. But Rosen was a disaster. Fields wasn't, so there's a big difference. But just trying to explain that 1 year away, people think something impossible can't happen. It can. Let's hit the phone lines. Appreciate you all filing into the building. Phone call Phone call segment is now.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the show. Let's discuss whatever you would like to discuss. I pulled my back, so your boy Smitty's a little bit. I got these pillows behind me. Oh. Dial in. Let's go. It's so painful. It's so painful. Fields to Atlanta. I don't think Fields gets traded, guys. I don't think. I mean, but hey, we kick around the ideas for a reason. It's fun to talk about, number one. Number two, you never really know what can happen. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Rock out.
Rock out. What's up, Rock out?
What's up? What's your opinion on something?
All right. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I was in a championship with one guy, but he didn't pay, so the commissioner. So the commissioner basically didn't pay no one. How you think that should have been gone down?
Just because one guy didn't pay doesn't mean that the rest of the people that paid don't get their money. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's insane, Rock out. That's absolutely insane. So what did he do? Refund everybody?
I'm still waiting on the word of getting even my money back.
So you're saying, mute your phone in the background if you're on hold. So Rock out, you're saying that you won the league. The guy didn't get, one of the guys that lost didn't pay his entry fee. And so your commissioner has verbally said that no one's going to get paid, or is he just waiting?
No, I lost the championship, but the champion didn't pay.
Oh, the champion didn't pay. I don't know, bro. I think everybody should still get paid, but the champion, if he didn't pay, he shouldn't get his money. That's his own fault. That's his own fault. I mean, was he warned, hey, you got to pay or you're not going to be able to win? Like, was there a warning shot or anything like that, Rockout?
I bet the commissioner hit him up like maybe August and September, but after that he was like, I'm not gonna babysit, and if he does win, I'll pay him.
Well, I mean, I guess technically speaking, if he was warned several times, that's his own fault. But I mean, if I was the commissioner, I probably would just pay him. You know, obviously take his entry fee out and pay him. That's me. But I mean, that's pretty dumb of somebody to roll through a whole season not paying. Like, you're clearly not paying because you want to maybe skate by. If you don't win, you want to skate by without paying your entry fee and just leave the league. I don't think he should probably be paid. I would have a tough time doing that myself, but I think, you know, looking at it from afar, that's kind of how I think handle it. I don't know. That's crazy. Let's ask Jay Farr. Jay Farr, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
Hey, Smitty.
What's up? I can't hear you, bro. It sounds like you're trying to play catch. It sounds like you're trying to play catch with your phone while you're talking.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
There you go.
Yeah. We have a empty team in our Dynasty League. Maybe you can hand out an invite to Rock Out to join.
Okay. I'll Rock Out if you want to get in a Dynasty League. We have a follower league. There might be an opening if you're interested.
Okay.
But also I wanted to talk about the Chicago Bears. What do you think is the best course of action for them right now with the pick?
Well, according to polls, and again, I think it's posturing, but you never know. You never know. Again, in proof in Arizona when the Cardinals drafted Rosen, the next year they drafted Kyler. But again, very different because Fields has looked very promising. Rosen did not. But I think their best course of action is to potentially trade down, but not very far. I would not want, late first rounder, multiple third rounders or something like that to move down. I would want to move down just to the top wide receiver slot or top 2 wide receiver slot, which means it'd probably be inside the top 10. So I'd move down inside the top 10, get that quarterback value in trade, because if you need a quarterback, quarterbacks are so rare. To get a quarterback like Young, or the top 3 quarterbacks from this draft class, even to get a quarterback prospect, it is hard. Teams wait a decade. So you have so much trade value, which is probably why Poles put this out here. We were not going to rule out drafting a quarterback. You know why he's saying that? Because if there's 2 or 3 quarterbacks, let's say, in a team's mind, and you're drafting at number 4, you're thinking, oh, the Bears are not taking a quarterback at number 1, so we might actually not have to move or trade up or inquire about the 1 pick because now we're going to get our quarterback at 4. So it's a posture game, but you still never know. It's NFL football. Poles has made a lot of aggressive moves. He seems aggressive, but I think he's aggressive enough to trade out of the pick. I think Bears fans are excited that they have this pick, but I don't know that they're gonna keep it because there's too much value sitting on a pick if you don't draft a quarterback to not trade down.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. He should trade down. It's just going to be hard to find a trade partner in that 5 to 10 range because a lot of those teams already have quarterbacks. But I think Houston sitting at number 2, if they're not happy with Will Levis, they might be a potential buyer to trade up and try to get to that spot.
Yeah, I mean, Houston at 2, you have the Cardinals at 3 that are not interested. Although you don't know there too. You never know.
No, I think you never know with Arizona. They could definitely get into that quarterback market also.
I want them grabbing Bijan. But number 4, you got the Colts. So the Colts. Number 5, you have the Seahawks. I kind of disagree, JFR. I think the top 5, you have literally, so you have the Bears at 1. You have Texans at 2. They're interested. Cardinals will rule them out. Cardinals at 3. But I would say the next 2 teams, the Colts at 4 and the Seahawks at 5, and the Lions at 6, and the Raiders at 7, and the Falcons at 8, and the Carolina Panthers at 9. I would say those are almost all interested teams in a quarterback, JFR.
You're right. But, also one thing that I'd like to say is that with the play of Brock Purdy this year, if the 49ers do win the Super Bowl, it might change, the perspective of a lot of GMs. That they might say that, we might not need to get, try to draft a quarterback when our team around that player isn't up to par and they cannot develop the quarterback properly. So, I think, right now, if you're asking me, there's maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 true franchise quarterbacks in the NFL. And,
Yeah, but can I ask you a question, though? From the AFC, let me put the bracket up. Who is in the race? Who is a potential AFC contender this year? KC, franchise quarterback. Buffalo Bills, franchise quarterback Josh Allen. Cincinnati Bengals, franchise quarterback. Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chargers, if the Chargers beat the Jaguars, potential franchise quarterback sitting right there. Go to the other side, Philadelphia, franchise quarterback. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady. Minnesota and San Francisco are the only 2 teams that are probably likely to go into the next round that don't have that franchise quarterback. So I still think you make a good point. There aren't a lot of them, but guess what? Every single one projected to go to advance one round out of the wild card weekend are going to have a franchise quarterback, but 2 teams, in my mind.
Yeah, you might be right. 49ers, I think, might be the only one without a franchise quarterback.
And could Purdy be a hidden gem franchise quarterback? To your point, though, they found him later. They didn't have to draft him, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see, bro.
Absolutely. I just think now in the NFL, it's tougher to develop these guys.
It is.
Then let's say.
But I would say this draft class is the one draft class where if you're sitting back and you're one of these other teams, let's say you're Seattle, even though even though they've done very well at the position. Geno Smith has done very, very well all year long. You would probably say Seattle would kill to get Young, and have him thrown to DK Metcalf. The Giants, they like Danny Dimes. They've done well with Danny Dimes, but I'm pretty confident that if they had an ability to go get Young or go get a Stroud or go get another signal caller they felt could be one of the potentially like one of the lower end of these guys I just named, could be, they would go after it. Who knows where Tom Brady's going to be?
I kind of disagree with the Seahawks. I think also they might be in a position to trade down if the right quarterbacks fall to their pick. They might want to beef up that team around Geno Smith and try to go another year. If they win this game.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, hold on 1 second there. Bob from accounting, Lumberg on the channel, just dropped a $100 super chat. By the way, Lumberg, you are the number one top super chatter of the year. Taking the crown last year was Ron Navy. And the way that we do this is that the person that is the number one super chatter of the year, we put at the top of the show. So let me do that right now. Number one super chatter of year. Bob, $100. Or $99.
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, Bobby. Bobby is going to remain at the top of the show. I got to do a better job. I need to put Ron Navy up there too for a while because he deserves to be up there for the highest super chat ever on the channel. So I think I'll have those two at the top of the screen. But Bob, anybody wants to knock Bob off, he's the highest super chatter of the year so far with a $100 hauler. Thank you, Bob, from accounting. I would stand if I could. I'm going to hit the
moon.
We'll hit that one right there. Good, kind sir. Bro, what else you got, J4? And Rock Out, you got anything? Let's go to Rock Out real quick. Rock Out, you got anything you want to add to the conversation that we're discussing right now?
Yeah, Young from Alabama had like concussion problems. You think he might be like the same as Tua, possibly?
I don't know. I think it's hard to say. I think that we need to be careful not to coin everybody a concussion, likely concussion problem or something, like look at Brandon Cooks. He hasn't had a concussion in forever, and he was one of the biggest concerns for a concussion in the NFL. But at quarterback, you got to be worried about it because quarterbacks are taking hits differently. Their heads hitting the ground constantly. And so, it is something to look at. How many concussions has he had?
He had a bit, like 3 or 4 maybe.
That's a lot.
And he has the same build as Tua.
Yeah, that's going to be a concern. It's going to be a concern for sure. Bob, you know what? I didn't even read Bob from accounting's message. I'm so out of it. Bob, are you still here? Let's read Bob from accounting's message. Hey, Smitty, won my league most points for a season and 17 and 18 in the 17 and 18 weeks. Best season ever and most fun. Your text advice and 15-minute phone calls for trade assistance along with the live shows and chat. A big part of my success and enjoyment. You the man. Take care. Take care of the back. Thank you, Bob from accounting. Appreciate you very much. Bob from accounting, $100 hauler. Thank you so much, Bob. Bob, you're the man. Bob, you are the man. Can we get a round of applause for Bob? Let's do a mashed potato. Look at this. Your boy Smitty's got these pillows in his back. I can barely sit, but I'm doing it live. All right, J4, what else you got before we throw you off the line here?
Nothing, Smitty. I just wanted to add how I just really want to say how well you did on that Moon Man list. If you really hit on almost every pick, which I have to give you a lot of props for.
Let's put it up on screen again. Hold on. See, I don't know if you guys can see my hand right now. Of course you can. So here's my hand. When I have to do things with my back, it's so weird. I don't know if anybody's ever had a back pull, but like I can't just sit up and use you don't realize how many muscles you use when you lean forward. So I have to literally like the Thing from what's that show called with the Thing, the hand, the Frankenstein or the whatever. I have to like go like this and like pull myself forward to hit the Moon Man list button. Here we go.
The Moon Man.
So this is the Moon Man for this year.
Space.
So far, Bijan, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. How you like that so far, J4?
Space Moon says.
I like Bijan, depending on what team he gets drafted to. I love Garrett Wilson. Definitely is going to be a top 10 receiver next year, especially if they upgrade the QB. I'm not sure about Olave until I see that quarterback. I'm not sure he's going to be a top 10 guy.
But that's why they're on this list. And this is similar. Think about this. So let's look at last year's Moon Man. Let me kind of give you an example.
The Moon Man dropping loads in outer space.
Here's last year's list. The same things you're saying about
Space Moon says.
Olave were said about A.J. Brown to some degree. Like, I don't know if Hurts is going to be able to do it. And same thing people said about Hurts. Same thing people said about St. Brown. Same thing people said about ETN. Same thing people said about Pollard and Walker. And you know what I'm saying? So when you look at the Moon Men, the reason they're on the list is because of the doubt that's currently still surrounding them. Otherwise, they wouldn't really be a value. So keep that in mind, too, that Olave is a value because Olave is currently being looked at.
The Moon Man.
Like
dropping loads in outer space.
Like he's got too many negatives around him. So that's why I'm going to wait and see. Well, you wait and see, you're going to miss out. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind.
Absolutely. But whenever I'm thinking mostly redraft, where you draft maybe about a week before the season starts. But absolutely, Olave, his stock can go up. There's no question about that. Also, you should bring up that most of the year he played hurt. And imagine if he was really healthy the whole year, how much better his numbers could actually have been.
Yeah. All right, J-Far, appreciate you calling in, my guy. Call in anytime.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good night.
Later. Rock out. You got anything else before I let you jump?
I think that's about it for right now, but appreciate it.
All right, Rock out. Rock out. Let me see if I got it. Rock out's intro music here somewhere. Hold on, let me find it. Rock out. Give me a second.
All right.
Where is it at? Oh God. You ever pulled your back out, Rock out?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a travesty. Here we go. Rock out in the building. Appreciate you, Rock out.
This is Rock Out, and he's in the building. I be going spit that fire. I be going preaching to your choir, and the Rock Out going to get it on now.
Appreciate you, Rock out. Later, pal.
See ya.
All right, guys, dial into the phone.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right. So we can talk about whatever you want. Bob from accounting with the $100 hauler. Appreciate that, Bob. Again, he's the highest super chatter of the year so far. Bob, are you still here? Silver Rapture in the building. Silver, appreciate you being here, big man. Silver Rapture sighting. I think I had Silver music, but Silver, you got to give me a new vocal for that. Silver Rapture.
To the moon.
Appreciate seeing you, man. All right. Where are we at now? Dial into the show. What's up, Silver? Okay. Garrett Wilson is a real problem. He certainly is. Hope you stay in our league, says JFR. Get a computer chair, Smitty. I know it's an obvious recommendation, but it will give you more support. I know. I do. Part of me, I love this chair. But part of me thinks I got to do that. I know I've kind of needed to do that. But I don't know. We'll see. I thought about just having a computer chair that I slide in and out of here for the live stream, but I don't know. I pulled my back in another way, but this doesn't help this current moment. If I had a computer chair where I could sit back right now and have total support on my back, I'd be good to go. Now I'm trying to do this without a computer chair. But I love this chair. This is like a king's chair, bro. Look at this thing. Mashed potatoes! This is a king's chair. This is a chair for a king, bro. You know? And so it's going to be tough for me to get rid of this thing, but I might have to figure it out. I'll have to figure it out. I could always put it right here, put the other chair. I don't know. Move them back and forth. We'll see. Dial.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right. I mean, I'm curious to know what some of you think of this. Is it possible? Like someone explain to me how they feel that the Bears could draft a quarterback without trading Fields away, because you can't guarantee you're going to trade Fields away. Plus, if you draft a quarterback, you'd have to trade Fields before you draft a quarterback, which you could do. But if you draft a quarterback and then you still have Fields, you're going to devalue the market for yourself by everybody knowing that you've got a quarterback already, and you're not going to get quite as much for Fields in a trade. Plus, you'd probably want draft capital anyway that you could use during the draft. So you probably would trade him before the draft if you figured, okay, we're taking Young, or we're taking Stroud, or we're taking whoever. Then you'd probably trade Fields ahead of time. But I don't know why you would. Fields has done nothing but deliver. You know, maybe he's not the quarterback, the style of quarterback Poles wants. I don't know. That could be the case. I mean, look at the Cardinals drafting Kyler the year after they drafted Rosen. Rosen didn't really even have a chance to fully fail yet. So to say that Rosen had already failed, he just was miserable looking so far, and his attitude sucked. But they didn't even give him a chance to really go out and fail yet. They just replaced him. And they devalued the market because they drafted Kyler and they decided to trade Rosen after the draft. And everybody knew, you don't get rid of Fields. I agree. I think Fields is an absolute, beast. And what he did in that offense was amazing. But this is the NFL. And anything can happen. And it wouldn't shock me at all if Poles decided, hey, I'm gonna make a move here. I'm gonna make a move here and draft a quarterback that I want to build around, because I want my offense to look like this. He wants to build in the trenches. Running quarterbacks have a shorter shelf life. So there's all that to consider. I'm not saying that Poles isn't considering it. He probably is, but I don't know that he's really going to do it. I think ultimately they got to trade this pick down, get some wide receivers and some defensive help and offensive line help and all that. But there are a lot of teams, as I just pointed out with Jay Farr. So here's the NFL draft order as of right now. Let me get these comments off screen. Appreciate you all dropping your comments and thoughts on this. But let's go with the NFL draft order. So number 1 overall is the Chicago Bears. So NFL draft order. Number 1 is Chicago. Number 2 is the Texans. Number 3 is Arizona. Number 4 is the Indianapolis Colts. Number 5 is Seattle. Number 6 is the Lions. Number 7 is the Raiders. Number 8, 9, and 10. This is your top 10, people. 8 is Falcons. Carolina is 9. And Philadelphia is 10. The only team that doesn't need a quarterback in this entire top 10. I mean, you could say Goff is fine in Detroit, but you can't say they wouldn't want a young. Chicago is good to go at quarterback. Houston isn't. I mean, they might still like Mills. You don't know, but they would take a young. Arizona is fine. So the only teams that don't need a quarterback would be the Bears, the Cardinals. Seattle might want to roll with Geno, but they would take a quarterback if a quarterback was there. Las Vegas is getting rid of Carr. Atlanta needs a quarterback. I don't think they would just roll with Ritter if they were presented with the right opportunity. Carolina needs a quarterback. And the Eagles. And then maybe Detroit will put a broken line under Detroit. Past that, Houston, Indy, Seattle. So the 2, the 4, the 5, the 7 pick, the 8 pick, the 9 pick. These teams all could use a quarterback. And so there's ample opportunity. There is zero chance that the Bears can't trade down into a top 10 pick, get a wide receiver, and beef up some other piece of draft capital somewhere. So odds are the Bears are trading out of the 1 pick. I feel bad for Bears fans who are so excited they finally got the 1 pick. And now they're probably going to trade down, which is what Poles probably, it feels like Poles would do that anyway. The way Poles has operated so far, my guess is he will trade down. But how you could, if he was to draft a quarterback, if you could get the world for Fields and you liked Young, let's say, it's possible. I think it's crazy, but it's possible. Because what would Fields get you back in a trade? Toss out some values. Would someone give up a top 10 pick for Justin Fields? I think so. I think a team on this list would give up that pick for Justin Fields. So what if they took Young and they got a top 10 pick in this draft right here for Justin Fields and they took a wide receiver? It's not like trading Fields away would be for sure disastrous if you take that into account and you look at what you could come away with, 2 top 10 overall picks in this NFL draft. I just don't think I would do it because I think Fields is already proven. I wouldn't do it because I think Fields in a wide receiver, if you move the 1 down to, let's say, 7, you give Las Vegas the 1 pick, they draft whoever at quarterback. And at the 7 pick, the Chicago Bears take a wide receiver and beef up another piece of draft capital. It may be a 3rd rounder into the 2nd, or maybe a 2nd into the lower part of the 1st round. They would end up doing that. It's crazy. It's crazy to think Poles would even. It's posturing most likely, but you can't rule it out. You can't rule it out. You can't. But wouldn't anybody take, if you were one of these teams, Justin Fields for the pick? If they said, hey Carolina, give us the 9 pick, we'll give you Fields. I think the Carolina Panthers would say, please. The Lions better not draft a quarterback. We need to draft all defense, says Robert. Yeah, Goff is getting it done. And if you go with a young quarterback, you got to develop them, and it's a tough thing to go away from a serviceable quarterback into a quarterback. But then again, if you could get like a Young, it's tough. Eric says everybody doubting Fields is a clown. I don't think anybody disagrees with that in here, Eric. I think we all like Fields in here. I think it's a talking point. That Ryan Poles, the GM of the Chicago Bears, is putting out there for us to talk about. It's a talking point that does exist. We do need to talk about it, but I don't know that I buy into it. Phone lines are still open, guys. Hit it up.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Yeah, I agree. Silver Winter doesn't like the disrespect to Fields. I don't think any of us in here do. I think it's ridiculous. What has he not proven so far? What has he not proven? Again, posturing potentially. So maybe Poles loves him too. Maybe the entire franchise is like, look, we're just going to try and go out there and with a straight face. We might draft a... Oh, the megaphone's too far away. Let me see if I can get it with my feet. Hold on.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Ow! I got it. Okay. We got the megaphone. Okay. Ooh.
This is Ryan Poles. We're going to, with a straight face, pretend that we don't like Justin Fields. Hold on. Justin, what you're about to hear is not true. Please don't take any offense by it. We are considering drafting a quarterback because Justin Fields' amazing play, his fantastic scrambling ability. This guy's like Michael Vick. Have you seen him? Look at him. He's like Michael Vick. We are not impressed. We are looking to draft a
We're not.
We are looking to draft a quarterback at the 1 pick. Please take us seriously and come with your trade offers and bring solid offers only. Thank you. Ryan Poles out.
That's basically how it feels. You never know. You never know, but that's basically how it feels. And you know what? It doesn't even matter if Ryan Poles is telegraphing it, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in the top 10. 7 teams in the top 10 that technically could draft a quarterback. 7 teams. So the options are endless. The ability to trade this pick is easily there. I liked who said it earlier. I don't like it actually, but I mean in terms of support for the Bears, imagine getting Hopkins in as well, and the way these older players get traded, who knows what the Bears have to really even give up to get Hopkins. So if the Bears are able to draft, let's say, I don't know, let's say the Bears go offensive line just to protect Justin Fields. Let's say they trade down from the 1 pick to, I don't know, somewhere in the top 10. They move their second into the bottom of the first. So they have 2 first rounders. They take offensive line. They take a defensive line or an edge at the bottom of round 1, and they trade like a third rounder, couple third rounders, or a third rounder or whatever for DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know what DeAndre Hopkins could command at this point. I don't know. So then you have an offensive line, a defensive line piece, DeAndre Hopkins, and Justin Fields. You know, like I feel like that's how you make magic. You know, or you draft a rookie wide receiver and an offensive line in the first round with that pick that you traded in, whatever, and you end up having Hopkins as well. That would be insane for the Chicago Bears if they ended up with Hopkins, was still able to use that first overall pick to either trade down or draft a player. I don't know why the Cardinals are going to trade away Hopkins. I hope that's not true. I hope it's not true. And if we trade him away, it better be for something good. It better be for something good. Super chat from Rockout. Smitty, check your DM on IG. Okay, let's go. Rockout with the...
Go now to the moon, right? Gotta get it right. Moonwalking showstopper. Go the moon now. Be a moon man.
Thank you, Rockout.
That's how we go. Moon man showstopper. You know now.
Rockout with an original. Rockout's going to be taken from us at some point. He wants to see the Moon Man list.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
Space Monsters, indeed. Look at that list.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Oh boy, what a tough. My back's doing a little better than I thought through a full show. What are we, about an hour in? I don't know how much longer I can go because it's starting to like tense up and everything, but I don't think I made it worse by doing the show, but it's certainly hard to sit. But maybe I do need to get a computer chair. I don't want to do a computer chair, but it is what it is. I might have to. I need to get a computer chair sponsor is what I need to do. Bring me in a computer chair. What's up, Rock Out? What's up, Ron Navy? You're live.
I'm the new Rock Out. Yes, I am.
So, what do you think, Ron? Is it complete posturing, or do you think Ryan Poles, the GM of the Chicago Bears, really would entertain drafting a quarterback at the 1 pick? Or is it all a posture game to get this pick delivered to one of these 7 teams on this list right here on my screen that are quarterback needy?
Yeah, I don't. After what Fields has done, especially at the towards the end of the year, I don't think they go for a quarterback. I don't think they're seriously thinking about it.
Yeah, it's there's a big pot. It's all smoke and mirrors. Like, people need to realize smoke season is underway. The pre smoke season is potentially here, and pre smoke season there's smoke everywhere. Smoke and mirrors. It's cloak and dagger. It's oh yeah, hey Fields, put your earmuffs on, Fields. We would take a quarterback. So get ready.
Yeah, I think they're posturing themselves up to move out of the 1 and be able to get as much possible as they can to move out of the 1 spot.
Yeah.
And build up their collateral for other picks, get other picks.
Yeah. Cliff
so
says
they can.
Yeah, Cliff says Smitty, Bears fans overwhelmingly want Bears to trade down. We get the logic. So, yeah, and I think, but I have talked to a lot of Bears and Bear pages on Instagram and stuff, and they're so excited about the 1 pick though. I agree with you, Cliff. At the end of the day, they'll accept it, and they'll try and paint the picture as best as they can, as bright as they can, as clear as they can. But right now, in your mind as a Bears fan, Cliff, you're like, we got the 1 pick. We got the 1 pick. Oh my God, we got the 1 pick. And you can't use it. You can't use it. The quarterback value is so high in this draft. You cannot not take a quarterback at 1. You have to trade down to at least, on screen here, the 2 pick. Like, if you didn't go quarterback at number 1, you at least need to say, hey, Houston. But the problem is Houston knows that Chicago's not going to take a quarterback. They know they're not going to take a quarterback. And so Houston's probably not going to trade for it. The only reason you're going to get a team like Indy or Seattle, or probably not Detroit, because Goff's been serviceable and you got to wait on a quarterback to develop. So probably not Detroit, but they would. I think they could. Las Vegas, Atlanta, Carolina. If Las Vegas at 7, Carolina at 9, Atlanta at 8, Seattle at 5, Indy at 4. If any of these teams wanted one guy specifically, let's say they wanted Young, then Chicago will trade the pick because they don't want Houston to get him. It doesn't matter if Chicago passes on a quarterback if you're that late in the first round. You know you won't get your guy. So Chicago's still got a lot of ability to sell the pick to Houston, I guess, at the end of the day, to say we're going to sell it to somebody else. If you want Young that bad, or if in the case of Indy, if Indy wants Young, let's say Houston doesn't want to take I don't know. But I think trading for it will be, at the end of the day, be easy. Maybe hard to trade to the 2 pick, but possible. What else do you think?
Well, we've seen it done before, where there's been, a team will draft the quarterback, another team will draft, and there's been trade the players. They'll go ahead and draft the player, and then they'll trade the player away for more stuff. So you never know what route they'll take.
Yeah.
Using that ball behind your back?
No, I'm holding this just to hold it. I don't know. I've got pillows looking behind my back, and this is how I. Have you ever done this, Ron? Like, this is how I get to my board. I'll move my hand forward like that because I don't want to put all the pressure on my on my back. I'll kind of crawl across the table like the Thing. But it's really, really hard to use my back. But I got these pillows behind me here. Can you see? I don't know if you can see the screen or not, but
Yeah, I can see the pillow.
Yeah, I've got multiple pillows here. It feels good. It feels pretty decent. I'm surprised I can sit right now because yesterday I couldn't sit. I couldn't sit at all, and I'm very far away from being good. But
I feel your pain, bro. I've been there and done it, so I feel every inch of pain that you're going through. Trust me.
Yeah.
Not good.
Let's see here. Goff, Dunn. Let's see. Silver Rapture's in the building, by the way. Silver Rapture says Goff, Dunn had Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, and Robert Woods, all good fantasy players at the same time. Goff is Goff's tough because like he's done so well this year. And like I said, if you draft a quarterback, you gotta develop that quarterback. But it doesn't mean they couldn't develop him behind Goff for a year, and then switch over or whatever. The question comes down to how good do you see the quarterback prospect you may take if you're the Lions. Like let's use Young as an example. If you think Young is the next Trevor Lawrence, and just like just like I have mapped out here. Every single one of it was right here. Jay Farr called in and said that teams may not be as interested in getting a top signal caller because teams are doing it without it. And I mapped out not really because KC, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Philly, Tampa, the only two teams that are likely to go to the next round at all that don't have a quarterback that's like an elite prospect is San Francisco and Minnesota, and I know you would say that Cousins is an elite prospect, but these top 5 capable gunslingers are in the Super Bowl race. Like look at all the gunslingers, the top quarterbacks in the NFL, the top 6 quarterbacks are all going to be the teams that try and that make it out of wild card weekend. So quarterback is crazy important in today's NFL. And I think if you believe Young is that guy, then it does make sense for the Lions to draft him and develop him under Goff and maybe, they could still win. But I mean, look how good rookie quarterbacks are coming in now. It's different, it's different than it used to be. Now, if you're a rookie quarterback, you can come in and explode.
Yeah, or these teams that have their older quarterbacks, at some point, you're going to have to, if the quarterback's out there that you think, there's nothing wrong with drafting the quarterback and letting them sit for a year or two and develop either. I mean, they kind of got away with that, so some of these teams need to look at their future because their quarterbacks are getting older and they're not going to be around that much longer.
Yeah. Keith, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Keith, what can I do for you?
Hey, brother, just want to say, first off, your swift call. My fantasy championship did not finish this week. It was the week prior. And that advice you gave me was rock star advice. Literally helped me win my league because I had Evans against me. And I was home free for a while, but then Evans just continued to pile on. But Swift saved me. Basically, I went with exactly who you said to go with. I set Pacheco and whatnot, and Dobbins as well. And I won the league because of it. So I just want to say, Smitty, thank you so much, brother. You helped me on that final push, and just wanted to be sure I called in before I hang up my fantasy hat for the year to be sure I told you. I sure do appreciate your help, brother.
Hey, Keith, appreciate you. Now, I will say, I do want to go on record saying that we don't know what Swift is going forward, but I'm glad he helped you when he needed to. But, I mean, God, what a disappointment he's been. He's going to be so tough to trust walking into 2023. A lot will depend on Jamal Williams, where Jamal Williams is at and all that. But I'm glad you won your championship. Congrats, Keith. To the moon, pal. Appreciate you. Hey,
thank you, brother. Likewise.
You got anything else? Anything?
Man, no. we're gonna redraft again, and I'm probably gonna get out of this dynasty league I'm in. And the only thing I'm sitting here looking at, and I just told my wife I'm addicted to it because I'm already looking at where everybody's ranking on everybody else so coming back in the next year. But I'm having a hard time not going heavy receiver, thinking about it at least, not knowing my draft position, just because, man, I think Najee come on towards the end. They got him ranked 23 on some of these I know it's early, but, Najee at 23, Aaron Jones, depending on what he does. I know those guys are up and down, but the way they finished, it's hard for me to just say, well, they're going to be in the garbage. I don't know if I believe that, but that's the only thing I'm looking at right now.
And Keith, also keep in mind that my advice all offseason long and will always be best player available. Never draft a position, but always draft the player, not the position. However, the best player available more times than not might be wide receiver in my outlook. So you know what I'm saying? So like I'm agreeing with you, because when push comes to shove and I look at these wide receivers from number 2 down to like 18 overall, these wide receivers are going to look like best player available to me. Best player available is not drafting off ADP, drafting the highest ranked player available. That's not best player available. That's drafting off ADP like a robot. Best player available is who's the best player on the board to you, not to me, to you when you're on the clock. Yeah. And I agree with you. I think instead of saying we're going to go wide receiver, we just need to recognize that wide receiver is more valuable, and that will in turn make wide receiver a more likely pick for you. And so I agree with you. It's going to be crazy. Now, the thing that I've done is when I've done some early mock drafting, I say I'm probably leaning heavy wide receiver, but then I find myself in the second round wanting to go quarterback very, very badly. And I think I'm going to make a big push for that in 2023. And it's going to go against the grain. Even though the quarterbacks did as good as they did, people still, it's garbage. Like you do an underdog draft. Hold on, let me hit it. Underdog, promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 on your first deposit. The link is in the description. If you do an underdog best ball draft, and didn't the Mitten 4s just come out, Ron? I think Mitten 4 just dropped.
The Mitten 4?
Yeah. I think the Mitten 4s just dropped. If you draft in a Mitten 4,
I know the top one do get.
Who's the number 1 pick in a best ball playoff fantasy football playoff only draft? A quarterback. It's Josh Allen or it's Mahomes. Who's the number 2? The other one. Who's the number 3? Probably Jalen Hurts. Why are people so quick to draft a quarterback in a playoff draft? Or if we do rankings when week 1's already kicked off, like we're in week 2, who's the top 15 guys, and we do rankings via chat vote. Why are quarterbacks living in the top 15? But yet on draft day in August, it's a no-no to take a quarterback early. I don't understand why people don't see the correlation there. Like when push comes to shove, we all value quarterbacks, and we should, as top 15 overall picks when you're talking about Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. But on draft day in August, everyone's brainwashed by the industry to say there's too many quarterbacks. You got to wait. Now, granted, Hurts and Burrow were both 6th and 7th rounders, or 5th, 6th, 7th rounders last year. And I agree. And we were the biggest advocates of drafting Jalen Hurts. So I'm not in the position of you always take a quarterback early. Look what we did last year with Jalen Hurts. But you got to grab the right one. This year, with the changing of the guard at quarterback, I don't think there are any quarterbacks, everything's a cycle, that are like that in the 6th or 7th round anymore. Like every other year, maybe that happens, but this particular year coming into 2023, Burrow, Hurts, Josh Allen, Mahomes, it's a different situation. Later, Silver. Appreciate you, Silver. Silver's out of here. Anyway, that's my stance on it, Keith. But I love wide receiver. I love wide receiver running back. I love wide receiver quarterback. I love JJ at number 2 all day long, or even 1. And I know JJ pissed some people off, but last year, or this past season that just ended. But you know, he's going to get better and better and better.
That's right.
Keith, anything else?
No, brother, I sure do appreciate you, though, Smitty. I hope you have a great night, brother. I really do. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, go get him, pal. Appreciate you. Let's run it back.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sounds good.
Later, Keith. Ron, any input on that? Anything we talked about?
I didn't know the pumping four was out. I just looked, and sure is. There's already 10,000 teams already been taken up in that thing out of 56,000. So
yeah. Promo code Smitty.
Did you notice?
You what?
The Gauntlet 2 is worth more. The Gauntlet 2 is worth more than the Gauntlet 1.
Yeah, I don't know how they decide.
Gauntlet 1 was 100K. The Gauntlet 2, same amount of people as 200K.
Yeah, we'll probably go live tonight, and we'll do some drafting tonight, guys. So right now, I'm going to drop the link in the live chat. Make sure you sign up now so that when we get in here, because you're not going to make it in the drafts. They fill up in about, I would say, like 4 or 5, 6 seconds. So if you think you're going to be able to sign up or something at the moment in time we do this, you're not going to. So please click this link right now. I pinned it in the live chat. Promo code Smitty will get you dollar for dollar match up to $100 bonus match on your deposit. So if you deposit 50, they'll give you 50. If you deposit 100, they'll give you 100. So dollar for dollar bonus match. That link is there. We'll do drafts tonight. They're playoff drafts. They're phenomenal. They're fun. The prizes are big. And you maintain your team throughout the entire playoffs. So there's strategy involved. Do you take a wild card player versus a player that's on a bye like Jalen Hurts in round 1, or Mahomes in round 1? Or do you take Josh Allen because he's playing wild card weekend and he can play the entire thing through? So, anyway. Anything else? You what?
Have you been doing any ice or heat on your back?
Yeah,
tried any ice or heat?
Heating pads helped a lot.
Heat pads.
Heating pads helped a lot.
Yeah, well, it's weird for me because sometimes ice works good, better than heat, and then sometimes heat works better than ice on me sometimes. So, but yeah, that's all I got. Just don't overdo it. Don't overdo your sitting.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. These pillows help. Ron, so Ron is the highest super chatter in the history of the show. And then we also have the title of the highest super chatter of the year into a single live stream. And so far, Bob from accounting, Lumberg, dropped a $100 hauler on the show. So we have him at the top of the corner, top left corner. We should put Ron up there too, though, because Ron is the highest super chatter of all time. So number 1 super chatter all time is Ron Navy. Ron. And it was like 765 or something like that, I think. Ron. Insane. Thank you, Ron. Ron, appreciate all your support. If I don't tell you enough, thank you. I should. I'm sorry.
We're on to the moon.
Ron Navy to the moon. Bob from accounting to the moon. Rock out to the moon. Anything else, gentlemen?
Apparently, Ron Navy's the new rock out.
Yeah.
I guess I gave a new name.
All right, gentlemen. Appreciate you.
I'm not as cool as Rock Out. Rock Out's way cooler.
Rock Out's got those bars. Rock Out. We'll see you later, pal. Later, Ron. We'll see you guys tonight for some mitten 4 drafting tonight. All right, later. Yeah, so guys, please go to Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty, match up to $100 in your first deposit. We'll be doing drafts tonight for the playoffs, mitten 4s. Also, get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Thefantasyfootballshow.com. That's where my site is, my content. I've got bowl predictions already up. The 2023 rankings are up. I put Bijan in there. I don't have the other rookies in yet. I should by the next couple of days. But I got Bijan in there. I put Bijan in the rankings, so he's in all the rankings, and he's tied for number 1 with JJ as the number 1 overall dynasty player. auction dollar values, rank wise, he's tied for number 1 overall with JJ in Dynasty. In a redraft, I think he's in the top 5. And my rankings are a little bold on the fantasyfootballshow.com. Again, to get there, just go to thefantasyfootballshow.com. And my rankings are year-round, 365, 24/7. I've got top 200. I've got redraft. I got dynasty. I got super rookie. Super rookie are the rookie class and a sophomore class only, just to give you a good barometer of youth and ranking, and it's good for dynasty mindset. I have rookie rankings. We have the weekly, obviously, during the year, and then the ADP rankings will be updated very soon. But I got Bijan in the top 5, and I'm a little aggressive on my rankings. I don't advise anybody draft exactly off my rankings because you'll be drafting people too high. You got to use ADP in conjunction with my rankings and say to yourself, okay, Smitty likes Bijan 5 in redraft. I better take him, but I need to take him at the appropriate place. So where's his ADP? And the good thing about ADP is it's built right into your draft app. So if you're drafting on ESPN or you're drafting on Sleeper or wherever, your suggested rank is ADP. It's based on ADP. So if you see Bijan 10 spots down, and I'm telling you I like him right now, depending on how many picks away you are, you can massage that situation to where you can get Bijan at a steal instead of taking him where I rank him. So be very cautious to use my rankings to draft off because I'm bold on them. About to buy my membership. Oh, just move my back weird. Isaac says, I'm about to buy my membership. Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate you. Moon Party says, Ron Navy. I got another Moon Man probably dropping in the next 2 days, I think. And if you are let's see. If you are a YouTube exclusive member, and if you click on the blue join button on desktop, you can become a $1.99 or a $9.99 member. And the Sunday Zoom calls that we do on the $9.99 plan, they come with some other perks. The $1.99 people, you can chat with me on Sundays during game days, and I answer only YouTube exclusive membership questions from the $1.99 or the $9.99 plan. You also get the emojis, you get the green name, you get the notoriety. But if you do the $9.99 plan, you get the Zoom call. During the off season, it's 1 call per Sunday. During the in season, it's 2 calls on Sunday. But you also get early tips. So I'm going to let everybody know, if you've got the $9.99 plan, who the Moon Man's going to be ahead of time, at least a day ahead or so. And I'll be like, hey, we're dropping a video tomorrow. It'll be a Moon Man. It's going to be a Lave. And then so people that are in that group will know. So if you want extra ahead of the curve information on the show, you'll be seeing videos that other people won't, and it'll be in video format. So the video will post. No one else will see the video but my YouTube exclusive people. It'll pop up on your YouTube feed and homepage, not anybody else's. So that's a good way to get those insider tips. But another Moon Man dropping. All my $9.99 people, don't tell anybody. Once you hear who it is, you will know before everybody else because you'll get that insider information. Isaac dropping a super chat. Do you differentiate between different point league and redraft and dynasty on your rankings? Everything's based on auction dollars, so you'll have an auction dollar attached to the name, so you'll kind of see the progression of why somebody might rank below somebody. It might be $5 difference or a $1 difference, or they might be tied at the same dollar amount, but one's just ranking over the other because in a tie someone's got to win. So it's all ranked based on that. It's not ranked on points. It's PPR. It's ranked on PPR or 0.5 PPR essentially. I try and do like a mix of PPR and non-PPR. I personally like PPR better, but my rankings survive both PPR and 0.5 PPR. Non-PPR rankings, I don't do a lot of those. I do those in August. I'll do a couple different sets, like an article, like here's my non-PPR, but not a lot changes. Guys like Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb move around a little bit. Wide receivers bump up a little bit overall, but it's not as big of a move as you'd think because the top running backs in the NFL now are PPR backs. Most every single back in the NFL that's a top 5 running back catches passes now. And so you have, Nick Chubb hanging around, you have Derrick Henry hanging around, and those guys have such extreme volume on the ground though that they kind of doesn't even change their value that much. So PPR is only a slightly different in terms of overall rank, and you may draft wide receivers in like round 2 and 3 a little more than you would in round 2 and 3 in a half point PPR. or a full point PPR league. But they're not specific to your exact league. Like you can't enter your scoring or anything like that. But I find that those aren't that advantageous. I've worked on those before. We've had a system like that before, and it's not that different, you know. Mine's basically calling out sleepers and breakouts and players that you need to draft. Oh, it hurts the cough. But I have trade calculators. I have a dynasty trade calculator, a redraft trade calculator. Mock drafts will be up shortly. My mock draft tool allows you to enter your keepers. My mock draft tool, let me repeat that, allows you to enter your keepers and do a mock draft simulation. So get ready for that. Appreciate you all. I will see you all tonight, most likely, as long as my back isn't worse or anything. I'll see you all tonight. I appreciate you all. And let me see if I have any other super chats. Oh. And you take for granted, you know, your back health and all that. It's crazy. Rock out, appreciate you. Bob from accounting, appreciate you. Isaac, appreciate you. And Kyle with the first super chat earlier in the day, talking about the Bryce Young situation and all that. Kyle, appreciate you. Thank you all for your super chats. I will see you all tonight. Peace out. Yeah, Jeff, we pretty much go over the reverse psychology, the posturing, so to speak, the smoke and mirrors. But, you know, it is a talking point because it's out there, so we had to address it. But we addressed it very thoroughly. I think you'll enjoy the segment we talk about Fields. There's certainly a possibility, even if it's small, that the Bears could draft a quarterback. Maybe Poles is serious. Maybe they trade Fields. But it's a very minute chance in my mind, Jeff. But we talk about that on the show, bro. Thanks again to Bob from accounting with the super chat right here. He is the new leader on the season, the 2023 season, in a single live stream with a $99 hauler. Thank you, Bob. You currently hold that title, which I have in the top here. Ron Navy's the all-time leader in a single live stream. Appreciate you all. I'll see you tonight. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.